Earnestly I seek you. My soul thirsts for you. My flesh yearns for you. In a dry and weary land, where there is no water, I remember you at night, through the watches of the night. In the shadow of your wings, I sing, 'cause you love me. My soul clings to you, and your hand upholds me. You alone, you alone, you alone, you alone. Why is everything falling apart? The Maakatites. All these names, all these names. So many names to remember. Buenos dias. Hopefully everybody took notes yesterday. We had all kinds of names we're going to be tested on today. We're going to be quizzed on all kinds of names. Who was the son of Jazer? Anyway, buenos dias. It is gorgeous outside. Aw, where's our singer? Hey, where's our singer? Choop, 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 choop. Are you going to sing for us, Grayson? Come here. Come here. Sing for us. Artsis K tells us yesterday that the stars were out. The stars were shining. I didn't get to see them, but I'm sure they were beautiful. I've gotten the chance to see the Milky Way. We're out in, I think it was Kerrville, over on the other side of San Antonio. And for the first time ever, I was out in this country area where there's nothing but limestone and a lot of human, illegals out there, quite a few. Comes another helicopter. And anyway, so we're out doing the kitchen out in the middle of nowhere. And we got to see the Milky Way. Boy, if you've ever seen a white rainbow like the Milky Way, that's a beautiful one. And yeah, the first time you get to see the Milky Way, it's a real different vision. We're warming up. I thought a few push-ups would help. But I think we need a few more. Is everything falling apart on you there, Grayson? I'm beating up my scale rule. But yes, here we are, blessed and renewed, rejoiced, knowing that it was a cold night last night. Hey, cut it out. You're trying to read over here. But here we are, basking in his new mercies for today. And knowing there is, I guess, news that's just going all around. So many tragedies, they say. And here we're focused on just being grateful. Being grateful, counting your blessings. Counting our blessings, knowing that not everybody is as happy or as at peace or is at comfort as we are. And not saying that there aren't any hard moments. We deal with quite a few. We just don't let them get to us, because he is faithful unto his word and to himself. And that is where he is showing us how amazing he is in just submerging yourself in his word. Submerging into the sense where we can ignore even what we consider to be our priorities in life, in our visual, in our schedule, in our jobs, in our have-tos, and to be able to pause and remember, as it says in Isaiah, right? Be still and know I am God. And he is so acquirable to us. He is so accessible in the sense of dropping to your knees and saying, Lord, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done trying. I'm done wanting to try. I'm done trying to try. I'm sick of trying again. And then we get at it to try to go about to just stay either sober one more day, or just stay clean one more day, or just not do anything wrong one more day, but we're still trying on our own strength. And we forget that we need his strength. We need his promises that hold us confident, knowing that every single promise he has made has come true. And those that haven't, they will. The sense of the thought of even Josiah here tore down all the idols, all the pillars, Asherah poles, all these places of worship for paganism. And he reminds us and he tells us over and over how every deity, every celestial deity, anything in the heavens was worshipped. All of his creation was worshipped. You got people that worship turtles, trees, doves, bears, grass, and grass. Well, yeah, the laws of back then, there used to be up not only just the 10 commandments, there was over, I think, in the realm of 500 to 600 commandments where you couldn't even walk on the grass. You had to drag your feet, because if you walked on the grass, you were breaking the grass, and that was considered work. So, and the reality of how ignorant we are, that we can put any object, any animal, any person, any job, anything, and put it as more important than this is truth. And that is why we're consumed. And he tells us over and over, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. And I tell you, I'm just a dumb high school dropout out here. But that's not who I stayed. That's not how I remained. He has done wonders. He has done many a things, not for me, but through. In the sense of surrender, we see over and over how as they desired the ways of God, they sought the ways of God, they stayed on the path, and they did not veer off to the left or to the right, whether it be red or blue, because neither one of them colors or parties are going to help you in the end. None of any representation of any political color or any team or any clique or any gang, or no one will stand in your place to face the one you're going to surrender accounts to. We're all going to surrender. Now, gladly, we won't be judged, because he's redeemed us. And it reminds us over and over and over again to just bend the knee, let down that prideful heart, and remember that he is there. And in his word is where we dwell. And it may not make sense to anyone here as we're reading. I mean, if somebody just started watching us yesterday, they probably thought, that dude's out of his mind. Why is he reading in Krawniklz? But it's not the It's not the point of me trying to tell you the whole story here in one setting. It is in the following through and continuously in this book, just as much as you want to be a pharmacist or any career you want to seek, and you dive into those books and you study to get there. It's the same thing. Only this is results of truth, results of life, encouragement, thrive, and not be beaten up by the things of the world that are going to kick our butt. They're going to tear us down. Misery loves company. And trust me, in this evidence of where we're even at now, yeah, misery loves company. We see that. And we walk around in stores and we try to just, you watch people, you see them work, and you see this face of gloom, this face of just kind of a stamp on their face that is expressionless because they're just punching buttons and getting through a process. And it's like, hey, remember, you're a human being. There should be hope in you. There should be joy. There should be, and again, I'm not saying generally that's everybody, but you can kind of tell when you can take somebody off their kilter by just saying, hey, good morning. And you read their name tag on them, and you sometimes take them out of a whole, like a trance. So yeah, being not subtle is really helped me stand out much. Again, not subtle. I don't know, just so many thoughts, so many things going on, but many things to be grateful for. We get praise reports, we get testimonies, we share of just a sense of wanting to pray for others, and those that consider it something useful in their lives, they would request prayer. We get to pray often. That's something I'm learning. I'm not a prayer warrior. I'm more of a, carpenter. But let us remember that we're always in need of him, whether we're healthy or not. He came to heal the sick and those that were broken. And I'll tell you, I was there many a times, and I'm grateful for the peace that he's bestowed upon us now. And you can't explain it. You can't really say, oh, well, we did this and that, and then this happened. No, he's faithful unto his word alone. And that's where we can say, thank you, Jesus. So for those that come in and come out, we want to say thank you for the support. Thank you for the prayers. If we are in prayer, not so much that we're trying to grow as anything, any entity. People ask us if we're part of a church or anything. We're not. We're part of his church. We are his church. We're his body. We're the body of the church. And we are those that seek to be the bride of Christ, not just the guests and the banquet. And that should stir up some thoughts, because there will be guests. There will be the invited, and then there will be the bride of Christ. Something to seek into. Sink your teeth into. Lord, we thank you for your word is faithful, and knowing that your promises are true and everlasting, and that you would not want for any to perish, but that all would come to repentance, and to seeking you comfort and peace and meaning for life. Give us a desire to seek your truth and not just the comfort of our flesh. Give us a heart of compassion and truth and love, instead of just wanting to teach. We thank you for your mercies that you give us, Lord, and we thank you for those that can say thank you as well. Strengthen us, Lord. Bring us together as a body, and that we would stop looking at our ails and our flaws and our bad habits of one another, and that we would seek your comfort, your peace, and your spirit, not in the acceptance of our own. And we know your word is faithful, Lord. We thank you for Elise Rubenstein, for Mel, for Jill, John, Annie, and special prayers here for Jerry, knowing that he is in recovering. And Lord, you know where his heart is, you know where his mind is. And I ask that you would even cause yourself, your spirit, to be drawn into his thoughts and his heart, that he would yearn to know that he is okay with you. And we thank you for Annie also, smile that I can only remember her by. But that you would bless them, Lord. Bless them in their comfort, their soul, knowing that you are there with them. And the entire family, Lord, that they would seek to you as prayers and requests, not just for the recovery of Jerry, but the glorification of your name throughout their lives as well. Diana and Chris, thanks for joining us. Diana, miss you out there. We got to get out there to do some more sweating in the gym. Mariam family, Clyde, Dustin, also thanks for testimony. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for also the sincerity. We need to be sincere. There's no room for pretending anymore. That's for a blessing for both you, Dustin and Leah, that you would strengthen yourselves in his word, because in his word alone will we find strength. Brandy and Dakota, Connie, Robert, Jan and Keith, Becca, Reggie, Chris will be visiting soon. Brenda, Ronnie, Jem and Catherine, Seth, Devin, family, Cortez, thanks also that my dad's doing well out in California. Health is good, and keep him nourished, Lord. Roger, Teddy, and Dawn going to visit. Looking forward to it. Mary Lou, Patty, Allie, over at the cafe, the entire team. Lord, give us insight in how we can serve there at such a large group. And for those that we get to encounter on the streets and on the road, and for the techs that are out there working on our vehicles, and Lord, knowing that you are still in control of every breath. And you even know the count of our hair. Let us seek comfort in your word, Lord. Your Holy Spirit is the only one that can show us that we can trust on your word, and that what we see is not the only thing and is not the last, and this too shall pass. Your everlasting love we're anticipating, in the comfort of eternity here very, very soon. Blessings to all in Jesus' name. Amen. So, seems like the tablet is acting up. You alone. It says it's dying. Come on, gadget. Don't give us any grief. Yes, so here we are in Chronicles. And again, knowing that there's quite a bit that is just not going to be the most clear of understanding, but just kind of follow along. When I first started this, 2 chapters a day, it was overwhelming, because I figured, wow, how long is it going to take me to get through this? How long will I be? You know, being a kindergarten, one thinks, boy, kindergarten's fun. But when first, second, third, all that stuff, it's like, how long's school? But just follow along, numbers and everything. It starts coming together as a puzzle. You know, you start off with a piece, get the whole thing, you scatter them, get all your pieces, distinguish colors, the edges, and you kind of follow through, just like anything. If you have any effort to get to the end, you gotta study. Can't get nowhere without studying. And he will strengthen us. There's those moments, even from day one, like read, and you get through it. So follow along, you know, keep that hunger, the thought of what we don't know. What we don't know should drive us to continue to read. You know, I got to see some of these people that were walking around with such peaceful hearts, and I thought, what do they have? You know, I want to be that peace. I want to have that peace. I want to sleep that comfortable. I don't want to be worried. And not that I was a worrywart, not really. If I wanted something, I worked my butt off and got it, because that's what one should do. But in the sense of our focus, we then drive and spend too much energy on certain things, or spend too much time on on projects that are irrelevant to what we should be doing. So in that sense is where he begins to show us the focus of which way to point. And the direction is beautiful. The ride is great. Journey with God is what it says on our cards. And we're grateful that he's using both of us here in wondrous ways that we couldn't even have planned or thought. And that is the joy of being, I guess, on the walk, being on the walk of that journey that he teaches us. And now it's more in the sense of, wow, this is amazing. So blessings to those who are hungry. Anyway, let's get back to it. Still going through the, what do they call the lineage of all the tribes, all the people, and just kind of visualize what these numbers mean. These numbers are much smaller than what they are now. And we kind of tend to think that because we're existing in a world of billions, that's how it's always been. It's not. It's not. I put up a movie. It was called Corporation. A must watch. A very must watch. It'll keep you from going to all these fast food joints that are poisoning you and killing you slowly. One of the CEOs of these companies, corporation, he says, you know, I can take a gun and put it in your head and pull the trigger and kill you. And it would be deemed as murder. He says, but many corporations, they're basically poisoning you little at a time, getting the same results, but not being blamed for it. And there's thousands of corporations like that here in our wonderful corporation of the US of A. Blessings to all. 7. Issachar's sons, Tola, Pua, Shahub, Jashub, and Shimron. 4. Tola's sons, Uzi, Rephaiah, Jeriel, Jamal, Ibzan, and Shemuel, the heads of their ancestral houses. During David's reign, 22,600 descendants of Tola were recorded as warriors in their genealogies. Uzi's son, Izrahiah, sons Michael, Obadiah, Joel, Ashiah, all 5 of them were chiefs. Along with them, they had 36,000 troops for battle, according to the genealogical records of their ancestral houses, for they had made wives and children. Their tribesmen, who were warriors belonging to all the families of Issachar, totaled 87,000 in their genealogies. 3 of Benjamin's sons, Bela, Becher, and Hediel. Bela's sons, Zezbon, Uziel, Jerimoth, and Eri, 5. And Eri, he had 5. They were warriors and heads of the ancestral houses. 22,034 were listed in their genealogies. Besher's sons, Zemira, Joash, Eliezer, Leoni, Omri, Jerem, Abiha, Nanoth, and Alemeth. All these were Becher's sons. Their genealogies were recording according to the head of their ancestral houses. 20,200. Hediel's sons, Bilhan's sons, Jeush, Benjamin, Ehud, Shenaana, Zethan, Tarshish, and Ashishahar. All these sons of Jediael, listed by heads of families, were warriors. There were 17,200 who could serve in the army. Shupim and Hupim were sons of Ir, and the Hushim were the sons of Aher. Naphtali's sons, Jaziel, Guni, Gezer, and Shalom, Bilha's sons. Manasseh's sons through his Aramean concubine, Azriel and Machir, the father of Gilead. Machir took wives from Hupim and Shupim. The name of his sister was Maacah. Another descendant was named Zelophehad, but he had only daughters. Machir's wife, Maacah, gave birth to a son, and she named him Peresh. His brother was named Sheresh, and his sons were Ulam and Rechem. Ulam's son, Bedan. These were the sons of Gilead, son of Machir, son of Manasseh. His sister, Hamoleketh, gave birth to Ishdad, Abiezer, and Maalah. Shemida's sons, Ahiam, Shechem, Laki, and Aniam. Ephraim's son Shuthala, and his sons Bered, his son Tahath, his son Eliada, his son Tahath is, we're going to skip through. Their father Ephraim mourned a long time. Let's go. 21. His son Zabad, his sons Shuthala, Izer, and Eliad, the men of Gath, who were born in the land, killed Ezer and Eliad because they went down to raid their cattle. Their father Ephraim mourned a long time, and his relatives came to comfort him. He slept with his wife, and she conceived and gave birth to a son. So she named him Beriah, because there had been misfortune in his home. His daughter was Sheira, who built lower and upper Beth Oron and Uzan Shira. His son Rapha, his son Resheph, his son Tela, his son Tahan, his son Ladan, his son Amihud, his son Elishama, his son Nun, and his son Joshua. Their holdings and settlements were Bethel and its villages, Naran to the east, Gezer and its villages to the west, and Shechem and its villages as far as Aiah and its villages, and along the borders of the sons of Manasseh, Beth Shean and its villages, Tanakh and its villages, Megiddo and its villages, and Dor and its villages. The sons of Joseph, son of Israel, lived in these towns. That was the one who was sold as a slave. Asher's son, Imnah, Ishvi, and Beriah. Here we're going to skip down to 40. All these were Asher's sons. They were the heads of their ancestral houses, chosen men, warriors and chiefs among the leaders. The number of the men listed in their genealogies for military services was 26,000. Benjamin fathered Bela, his firstborn. Ashbel was born second Arah, 8 through chapter 8. Then we're going down to 39. Ulam's sons were warriors and archers. They had many sons and grandsons, 150 of them. All these were Benjamin's sons. 9, chapter 9, the exile. All Israel was registered in the genealogies that are written about in the book of the kings of Israel. But Judah was exiled to Babylon because of their unfaithfulness. The first to live in their towns on their own property, again, were Israelites. Priests, Levites, and temple servants. These people from the descendants of Judah, Benjamin, Ephraim, and Manasseh settled in Jerusalem. Uthai, son of Amihud, son of Omri, son of Imri, son of Bani, descended of Perez, son of Judah. From the Shilonites, Isaiah, the firstborn, and his sons. And from the sons of Zerah, Jeuel, and 690 of their relatives. The Benjamites, Salu, son of Meshulam, son of Hodaviah, son of Hesunah, Ibneah, son of Uzi, son of Makri. And we're going to skip down to 9. And 956 of their relatives, according to their genealogical records. All of these men were heads of their ancestral houses. The priests, Jedediah, Jehoriabib, Shakin, Asariah, son of Hilkiah, son of Meshulam, son of Zadok. That's one I got to check out, that name. So let's go to the Levites, Shemaiah, Bakbahar, the gatekeepers, Shalom, son of Kor, in earlier times, Phinehas. Let's go to 19. Shalom, son of Kor, son of Ebiasaph, son of Korah, and all his relatives from his household, the Korathites, were assigned to guard the thresholds of the tent. Their ancestors had been assigned to the Lord's camp as guardians of the entrance. 20. In earlier times, Phinehas, son of Eleazar, had been their leader, and the Lord was with him. Eleazar. So we're on 9:21. Zechariah, son of Meshelemiah, was the gatekeeper at the entrance of the tent of meeting. The total number of those chosen to be gatekeepers at the thresholds was 212. That's a lot of doorkeepers. They were registered by genealogy in their villages. David and Samuel, the seer, had appointed them to their trusted positions. So they and their sons were assigned to the gates of the Lord's house, the house of the tent. 24. The gatekeepers were on the four sides, east, west, north, and south. Their relatives came from the villages at fixed times to be with them 7 days. But the four chief gatekeepers, who were Levites, were entrusted with the rooms and the treasuries of God's temple. 27. They spent the night in the vicinity of God's temple because they had guard duty and were in charge of opening it every morning. Some of them were in charge of the utensils used in worship. They would count them when they brought them in and when they took them out. I guess there was a lot of trust over there, huh? Others were put in charge of the furnishings and all the utensils of the sanctuary, as well as the fine flour, wine, oil, incense, and spices. But some of the priests' sons mixed the spices. Oh, you can't do that. A Levite called Mattithiah, the firstborn of Shalom the Korahite, was entrusted with baking the bread. Some of the Kohathites, relatives, were responsible for preparing the rows of the bread of the presence every Sabbath. The singers, the heads of Levite families, stayed in the temple chambers and were exempt from other tasks because they were on duty day and night. These were the heads of the Levite families, chiefs according to their genealogies, and lived in Jerusalem. Jael fathered Gibeon and lived in Gibeon. His wife's name was Maacah. 36. Abdon was his firstborn, then Sur, Kish, Baal, Ner, Nadab, Gedor, Ahio, Zechariah, Mikloth. Mikloth fathered Shimeon. These also lived opposite the relatives in Jerusalem with their other relatives. Ner fathered Kish, Kish fathered Saul, and Saul fathered Jonathan, Malkishua, Abinadab, and Ishbaal. Jonathan's son was Meribaal, and Meribaal fathered Micah. Micah's sons, Pithon, Melech, Tareah, that's homework, and Ahaz fathered Jara. Jara fathered Alameth, Azmaveth, and Zimri. Zimri fathered Moza. Moza fathered Binea. His son was Rephaiah, his son Eleasa, and his son Azel. Azel had 6 sons, and these were their names: Azrikam, Bakari, Ishmael, Shiriah, Obadiah, and Anan. These were Azel's sons. 10. The Philistines. The Philistines fought against Israel, and Israel's men fled from them and were killed on Mount Gilboa. The Philistines pursued Saul and his sons and killed Saul's son Jonathan. Saul's sons Jonathan, Aminadab, and Malkishua. When the battle intensified against Saul, the archers found him and severely wounded him. Then Saul said to his armor bearer, "Draw your sword and run me through with it." But his armor bearer wouldn't do it because he was terrified. Then Saul took his sword and fell on it. When his armor bearer saw that Saul was dead, he also fell on his own sword and died. That's pretty aggressive, huh? To just want to die like that. Hey, quiet. What are you whimpering about? When his armor bearer saw that Saul was dead, he also fell on his sword and died. 6. So Saul and his 3 sons died. His whole house died together. Hey. When all the men of Israel in the valley saw that the army had run away and that Saul and his sons were dead, they abandoned their cities and fled. So the Philistines came and settled in them. The next day, when the Philistines came to strip the slain, they found Saul and his sons dead on Mount Gilboa. That's D-E-D, you know. They stripped Saul, cut off his head, took his armor, and sent messengers throughout the land of the Philistines to spread the good news to their idols and their people. Then they put his armor in the temple of their gods and hung his skull in the temple of Dagon. When all Jabesh Gilead heard of everything the Philistines had done to Saul, all their brave men set out and retrieved the body of Saul and the bodies of his sons and brought them to Jabesh. They buried their bones under the oak in Jabesh and fasted 7 days. Saul died for his unfaithfulness to the Lord because he did not keep the Lord's word. He even consulted a medium for guidance, but he did not inquire of the Lord. So the Lord put him to death and turned the kingdom over to David, son of Jesse. 11. We're going to go through the hour again because this book of Chronicles, the translation is pretty easy. All Israel came together to David at Hebron and said, "Here we are, your own flesh and blood. Even when Saul was king, you led us out to battle and brought us back. The Lord your God also said to you, you will shepherd my people Israel and be ruler over my people Israel." 11:3. So all the elders of Israel came to the king of Hebron. David made a covenant with him at Hebron in the Lord's presence, and they anointed David king over Israel, in keeping with the Lord's word through Samuel. David and all Israel marched to Jerusalem, that is, the Jebusites who inhabited that land were there. The inhabitants of Jebus said to David, "You will never get in here." That's what they told him. Yet David did capture the stronghold of Zion, that is the city of David. David said, "Whoever is the first to kill a Jebusite will become commander-in-chief." Joab, son of Zeruiah, went up first, so he became chief. That's a guy with some, marbles. David said, "Whoever is the first to kill the Jebusite become commander-in-chief." Joab, son of Zeruiah, went up first, so he became the chief. Then David took up residence in the stronghold. Therefore it was called the city of David. He built up the city all the way around, from the supporting terraces to the supporting parts, and Joab restored the rest of the city. David steadily grew more powerful, and the Lord of hosts was with him. 10. The following were the chiefs of David's warriors who, together with all Israel, strongly supported him in his reign to make him king according to the Lord's word about Israel. 11. This is the list of David's warriors. Jashobim, son of Hakmoni, was chief of the 30. He wielded his spear against 300 and killed them at one time. 12. After him, Eliezer, son of Dodo, the Ahohite, was one of the 3 warriors. He was with David at Pas Dadim when the Philistines had gathered there for battle. A plot of ground full of barley was there where the troops had fled from the Philistines. But Eleazar and David took their stand in the middle of the plot and defended it. They killed the Philistines, and the Lord gave them great victory. 3 of the 30 chief men went down to David to the rock at the cave of Adullam, while the Philistine army was encamped in the valley of Rephaim. At that time, David was in the stronghold, and the Philistine garrison was at Bethlehem. David was extremely thirsty and said, "If only someone would bring me water from the well at the city gate of Bethlehem." So the 3 broke through the Philistine camp and drew water from the well at the gate of Bethlehem. They brought it back to David, but he refused to drink it. Instead, he poured it out to the Lord. David said, "I would never do such a thing in the presence of God. How can I drink the blood of these men who risked their lives? For they brought it at the risk of their lives." So he would not drink it. Such were the exploits of the 3 warriors. Abishai, Joab's brother, was the leader of the 3. He raised his spear against 300 men and killed them, gaining a reputation among the 3. He was the most honored of the 3 and became their commander, even though he did not become one of the 3. Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, was the son of a brave man from Kabzeel, a man of many exploits. Benaiah killed 2 sons of Ariel of Moab, and he went down into a pit on a snowy day and killed a lion. He also killed an Egyptian who was 7.5 feet tall. Even though the Egyptian had a spear in his hand like a weaver's beam, Benaiah went down to him with a club, snatched the spear out of the Egyptian's hand, and then killed him with his own spear. These were the exploits of Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, who had a reputation among the three warriors. He was the most honored of the 30, but he did not become one of the three. David put him in charge of his bodyguard. The fighting men were Joab's brother, Asahel, Elhanan, son of Dodo at Bethlehem, Shamoth, the Harorite, Helez, the Pelonite, Ira, son of Ikesh, the Tekoite, Ebiezer, and the Anathothite, Sibbecai the Hushathite, Eli, Mahari the Netophathite, Heled, son of Anet. So these were all the 30 men, all right? Quite a few. Uriah the Hittite, Zadad, son of Ali, Adina, Rebun. So we're at 43. Hanan, son of Maakas, Josaphat, Jediel, son of Shimri, and his brother, Joha. And 47, it says Eliel, Obed, and Jasiel the Mezobite. Those are all hard to pronounce. 12. The following were the men who came to David at Ziklag, while he was still banned from the presence of Saul, son of Kish. They were among the warriors who helped him in battle. And then they were archers who, using their number 2, chapter 12, verse 2. They were archers who, using their right or left hand, could throw stones with a sling or shoot arrows with a bow. They were Saul's relatives from Benjamin. Their chief was Ahiezer, son of Shema, the Gibeathite. Then there was his brother Joash, Jeziel, and Pelet, son of Azmaveth, Berakah, Jehu, the Anathothite, Ishmaiah, the Gibeonite, a warrior among the 30 and a leader over the 30, Jeremiah, Jahaziel, Johanan, Jozabad, and Keradadite, Elusai, Jerimoth, Beliah, Shemariah, Shephathiah, the Heruphite, and these more names and more names. 8. Son of Gadites defected to David. Some Gadites defected to David at his stronghold in the desert. They were fighting men, trained for battle, expert with shield and spear. Their faces were like the faces of lions, and they were as swift as gazelles on the mountains. Ezer was the chief, Obadiah second, Eliab third, Mishmanah fourth, Jeremiah fifth, Attai sixth, Eliel seventh, Johanan eighth, Elzabad ninth, Jeremiah 10th, and Makbanai 11th. These Gadites were army commanders. The least of them was a match for 100, and the greatest of them for 1,000. That is amazing. 15. These are the men who crossed the Jordan in the first month when it was overflowing all its banks, and put to fault. These are the men who crossed the Jordan in the first month when it was overflowing all its banks, and put to flight all those in the valleys to the east and to the west. Other Benjaminites and men from Judah also went to David at the strongholds. David went out to meet them and said to them, "If you have come in peace to help me, my heart will be united with you. But if you have come to betray me to my enemies, even though my hands have done no wrong, May the God of our ancestors look on it and judge. Then the Spirit took control of Amasai, chief of the 30, and he said, "We are yours, David. We are with you, son of Jesse. Peace, peace to you and peace to him who helps you, for your God helps you." So David received them and made them leaders of his troops. Some Manassites defected to David when he went with the Philistines to fight against Saul. However, they did not help the Philistines because the Philistine rulers, following consultation, sent David away. They said, "It will be our heads if he defects to his master Saul." When David went to Ziklag, some men from Manasseh defected to him. Adnah, Jozabad, Jediael, Michael, Jozabad, Elihu, and Zilethai, chiefs of thousands in Manasseh. They helped David against the marauders, for they were all brave warriors and commanders in the army. At that time, men came day after day to help David until there was a great army, like an army of God. 23. The numbers of the armed troops who came to David at Hebron to turn Saul's kingdom over to him, according to the Lord's word, were as follows. From the Judahites, 6,800 armed troops bearing shields and spears. From the Simonites, 7,100 brave warriors ready for war. From the Levites, 4,600, in addition to Jehoiada, leader of the house of Aaron, with 3,700 men. And Zadok, a young brave warrior, with 22 commanders from his own ancestral house. From the Benjaminites, the relatives of Saul, 3,000. Up to that time, the majority of the Benjaminites maintained their allegiance to the house of Saul. From the Ephraimites, 20,800 brave warriors who were famous men in their ancestral houses. From half the tribe of Manasseh, 18,000 designated by name to come and make David king. From the Issacharites, who understood the times and knew what Israel should do, 200 chiefs with all their relatives under their command. From Zebulun, 50,000 who could serve in the army, trained for battle with all kinds of weapons of war, with singleness of purpose to help David. From Naphtali, 1,000 commanders accompanied 37,000 men with shield and spear. From the Danites, 28,600 trained for battle. From Asher, 40,000 who could serve in the army, trained for battle. From across the Jordan, from the Reubenites, Gadites, and half the tribe of Manasseh, 120,000 men equipped with all the military weapons of war. All these warriors lined up in battle formation came to Hebron with wholehearted determination to make David king over Israel. All the rest of Israel was also of one mind to make David king. They were there with David for 3 days, eating and drinking, for their relatives had provided for them. In addition, their neighbors from as far as Issachar, Zebulun, and Naphtali came bringing food on donkeys, camels, mules, and oxen, abundant provisions of flour, fig cakes, raisins, wine, and oil, oxen, and sheep. Indeed, there was joy in Israel. Así que vamos a dar un repasón de lo que sería español. Blessings to your life on stage. We went to 850. So I just got to get caught up in Espanol from one end to the other to 13. So that tomorrow we start off 13 with David and the ark. That's where it gets, I think, less names. Yeah, it gets to be fun. So blessings to you out in broken English land. And vamos para Español. Awesome. Out. Life on stage. Jesus is Lord. Bendiciones y gracias para aquellos que nos acompañan en español. Y sabiendo que ayer no leí en español, pero vamos a alcanzarnos el día de hoy. Y haciendo que puse un poquito de notas aquí, podemos dar gracias a Dios mientras, para que en los últimos 10 minutos podamos alcanzar para estar en el, que era el 13 de Crónicas. Gracias, Señor, por tu palabra y gracias te damos por este día que podemos calentar nuestro cuerpo con las promesas tuyas, Señor. Y gracias te damos por nuestra salud, el sol que puede resplandecer un rato, que parece que no nos dejan verlo, pero sabemos que tú eres un Dios perfecto, preciso, y todo está medido. Gracias te damos por este entendimiento y por el privilegio de poder leer tu palabra. Pedimos que aquellos que tengan entendimiento de escuchar, que también estemos con esas ganas de servir, Señor. Todo para tu gloria, en nombre de Cristo Jesús. Amén. Así que en el libro de Crónicas, básicamente son lineajes de donde viene desde Adán a las, y digamos, para entender esto sería conocer la historia en la que se escribió este libro de Crónicas, que fue muchos y muchos años, cientos de años después de lo que había acontecido anteriormente. Y en el pensamiento de que no podemos razonar ni tratar de entender lo que sería una existencia de milenios de años, que unas vidas sean tan distintas a las nuestras, que las prioridades que tenían antes no son las mismas de hoy y vivían con diferentes propósitos. Antes no tenían la ciencia, el conocimiento de la tecnología que hay ahora, por lo tanto sus vidas se ocupaban en cosas tan distintas que las nuestras, que ni aún la humanidad de aquel tiempo era como la que es hoy, porque tenían diferentes tamaños de cuerpo, diferente mentalidad, razonamiento. Lo que es normal para ellos, para nosotros sería algo fuera de lo normal. Y en la realidad de que esa civilización no podríamos ni siquiera tratar de razonar cómo pensaban aquellos. Así que para que esto llegue a dar que concuerde con lo que es las genealogías, es donde la armonía de lo que es su escritura permanece como un tejido, como una tela que se va tejiendo, y al verla hay orden, hay precisión, hay propósito. Y eso es este contexto de lo que serían los libros de la escritura. Son un tejido de una imagen, de un rompecabezas, de una ilustración de lo que sería el propósito de la vida para cada quien de nosotros. Así que vamos a repasar Crónicas rápidamente, solo tocando temas donde se nombran ciertas distinciones en lo que sería uno, menciona la genealogía de Adán hasta lo que sería Abraham, los descendientes de Abraham en el 1. Segundo, empieza con los edomitas, Israel, los hijos de Israel, después de que ya habían poblado la tierra y se había establecido Israel, y Dios escoge a Abraham y establece a Israel, y de ahí surge lo que sería la ciudad de Judá. Y en el 2, así termina. El 3, empezamos con lo que sería a la descendencia de David, a donde empieza su lineaje, porque no es de que nadie más no haya sido importante, simplemente en el contexto de lo cual Dios nos está explicando lo que es el tejido de lo que Él estableció. No tiene que mencionar todo lo que sucede a cada minuto, solo a los caracteres, a los personajes que iban a ser parte, que iban a formar parte de lo que sería la profecía y el desarrollo de la humanidad. Pero bien, eso sería el 3, los descendientes de David, y luego los reyes de Judá, porque había sido primero Saúl, que había sido escogido de la tribu de Benjamín, de los benjamitas, los descendientes de la linaje después de que sacaron cuando Saúl era rey y ya sabía que David iba también llegar a ser rey, lo empezó a buscar para matarlo, lo sacaron de Israel, de, digamos, Judá. Los descendientes de Judá en el 4. Y algo curioso, en el capítulo 4 de Crónicas, este nombre, Jabes, es el único que se menciona y que describe. Y él es un personaje muy distinto. Y dice en el 10 de Crónicas 1, el capítulo 4, e invocó Jabes al Dios de Israel, diciendo, oh, si me dieras bendición y ensancharas mi territorio, y si tu mano estuviera conmigo y me libraras del mal, para que no me dañe. Y le otorgó Dios lo que pidió. En una oración de los lineajes de aquellos de los que venían de Judá, ¿verdad? Sí, los descendientes de Judá, en el capítulo 4 menciona a este Jabes y su oración. Y luego continúa, dice, Calub, hermano de Seúa, engendró a Mehir. Y continúa con más nombres. Y luego los descendientes de Simeón en el 24, que también continúan. Y de ahí se elige a David como rey. Y en el 5 menciona los descendientes de Rubén y el linaje, los de Gad, la tribu de Manasés, y que fue dividida, porque la tribu de Manasés, muchos eran de ovejas, pastores, y tenían mucho ganado. Así que unos, para no ir a la tierra prometida, para no ir a donde les habían designado, se quedaron en otra parte. Como en el tiempo del Éxodo, cuando Moisés y los elegidos también de él, que algunos dijeron que se querían quedar en el lado donde no estaba la tierra prometida. Pero bien, entonces la descendencia de Gad, la media tribu de Manasés, y luego los levitas. En el capítulo 6 habla de los levitas que llegaron a ser los elegidos para llegar a ser sacerdotes. Y solo de la tribu de los levitas iban a surgir sacerdotes de Dios, de acuerdo al linaje. Así que en los levitas menciona cuántos fueron los que eran músicos y los que edificaron y en la tribu, ¿no? El templo. Descendientes de Aarón, ciudades de los levitas, en el 6. Y llegamos del 6 al 7, descendientes de Isaacar, nada así muy importante, los descendientes de Benjamín, descendientes de Neftalí, descendientes de Manasés, descendientes de Efraín, descendientes de Aser, descendientes de Benjamín en el 8 y el 9, después del exilio, porque habían sacado a David y se fueron muchos con él, y luego regresó y les dieron propiedades en el 9 y designaron los que iban cuando ya después Saúl había muerto y regresó David con los soldados, pusieron a soldados en lo que sería la puerta, en la entrada, en la cerca, para cuidar del reino de lo que sería David. La familia de Saúl, la muerte de Saúl, los hijos aquí en el 10, podemos leer el 10 rápidamente para llegar al 13. Los filisteos pelearon contra Israel y huyeron delante de ellos los israelitas y cayeron heridos en el monte de Gilboa. Y los filisteos siguieron a Saúl y a sus hijos y mataron los filisteos a Jonatán, a Aminadab y a Malquisúa, hijos de Saúl. y arreciando la batalla contra Saúl, le alcanzaron los flecheros y fue herido por los flecheros. Entonces dijo Saúl a su escudero: saca tu espada y traspásame con ella, no sea que vengan estos incircuncisos y hagan escarnio de mí. Pero su escudero no quiso, porque tenía mucho miedo. Entonces Saúl tomó la espada y se echó sobre ella. Cuando su escudero vio a Saúl muerto, él también se echó sobre su espada y se mató. Así murieron Saúl y sus 3 hijos, y toda su casa murió juntamente con él. Y viendo todos los de Israel que habitaban en el valle que habían huido, y que Saúl y sus hijos eran muertos, dejaron sus ciudades y huyeron, y vinieron los filisteos y habitaron en ellas. Sucedió al día siguiente que al venir los filisteos a despojar a los muertos, hallaron a Saúl y a sus hijos tendidos en el monte de Gilboa. Y luego que le despojaron, tomaron su cabeza y sus armas y enviaron mensajeros por toda la tierra de los filisteos para dar las nuevas a sus ídolos y al pueblo. Y pusieron sus armas en el templo de sus dioses y colgaron la cabeza en el templo de Dagón. Y oyendo todos los de Jabes de Galaad lo que los filisteos habían hecho de Saúl, se levantaron todos los hombres valientes y tomaron el cuerpo de Saúl y los cuerpos de sus hijos y los trajeron a Jabes y enterraron sus huesos debajo de una encina en Jabes y ayunaron 7 días. Así murió Saúl por su rebelión con que prevaricó contra Jehová, contra la palabra de Jehová, la cual no guardó y porque consultó a una adivina y no consultó a Jehová. Por esta causa lo mató y traspasó el reino a David, hijo de Isaí. Entonces todo Israel se juntó a David en Hebrón diciendo: he aquí, nosotros somos tu hueso y tu carne. También antes de ahora, mientras Saúl reinaba, tú eras quien sacaba a la guerra a Israel y lo volvía a traer. También Jehová tu Dios te ha dicho: tú apacentarás mi pueblo, a mi pueblo, y tú serás príncipe sobre Israel, mi pueblo. Y vinieron todos los ancianos de Israel al rey en Hebrón, y David hizo con ellos pacto delante de Jehová, y ungieron a David por rey sobre Israel conforme a la palabra de Jehová por medio de Samuel. Entonces se fue David con todo Israel a Jerusalén, la cual es Jebús, y los jebuseos habitaban en aquella tierra, y los moradores de Jebús dijeron a David: no entrarás acá. Mas David tomó la fortaleza de Sión, que es la ciudad de David. Y David había dicho: el que primero derrote a los jebuseos será cabeza y jefe. Entonces Joab, hijo de Sarvía, subió el primero y fue hecho jefe. Y David habitó en la fortaleza, y por esto la llamaron la ciudad de David. Y edificó la ciudad alrededor desde Milo hasta el muro. Y Joab reparó el resto de la ciudad. Y David iba adelantando y creciendo, y Jehová de los ejércitos estaba con él. Hazañas de los guerreros de David. Estos son los principales de los valientes que David tuvo, y los que le ayudaron en su reino con todo Israel para hacerle rey sobre Israel conforme a la palabra de Jehová. 11. Y este es el número de los valientes que David tuvo. Y aquí son todos los nombres de aquellos. Y dice: Jasobeam, hijo de Jacomí, cuadilló de los 30, el cual blandió su lanza una vez contra 300, a los cuales mató. Tras de este estaba Eleazar, hijo de Dodo, a Ojita, el cual era de los 3 valientes. Este estuvo con David en Pasdamim, estando ahí juntos en batalla los filisteos, y había ahí una parcela de tierra llena de cebada, y huyendo el pueblo delante de los filisteos, se pusieron ellos en medio de la parcela y la defendieron y vencieron a los filisteos, porque Jehová los favoreció con una gran victoria. Y 3 de los 30 principales descendieron a la peña de David, a la cueva de Adulam, estando el campamento de los filisteos en el valle de Rafaim. David estaba entonces en la fortaleza y había entonces guarnición de los filisteos en Belén. David deseó entonces y dijo: ¿quién me diera de beber de las aguas del pozo de Belén, que está a la puerta? Y aquellos tres rompieron por el campamento de los filisteos y sacaron agua del pozo de Belén, que está a la puerta, y la tomaron y la trajeron a David. Mas él no la quiso beber, sino que la derramó para Jehová y dijo: guárdeme, mi Dios, de hacer esto. ¿Había yo de beber la sangre y la vida de estos varones, que con peligro de sus vidas la han traído? Y no la quiso beber. Esto hicieron aquellos tres valientes. Y Abisaí, hermano de Joab, era jefe de los 30, el cual blandió su lanza contra 300 y los mató, y ganó renombre con los tres. Fue el más ilustre de los 30 y fue el jefe de ellos, pero no igualó a los tres primeros. Benaya, hijo de Joiada, hijo de un varón valiente de Jabseel, de grandes hechos, él venció a los 2 leones de Moab. También descendió y mató a un león en medio de un foso en tiempo de nieve. Él mismo venció a un egipcio, hombre de 5 codos de estatura, y el egipcio traía una lanza como un rodillo de tejedor. Mas él descendió con un báculo y arrebató al egipcio la lanza de la mano y lo mató con su misma lanza. Esto hizo Benaía, hijo de Joiada, y fue nombrado con los tres valientes, y fue el más distinguido de los 30, pero no igualó a los tres primeros. A este puso David en su guardia personal, y los valientes de los ejércitos: Asael, hermano de Joab, el Haanán, hijo de Dodo de Belén. Y aquí más nombres, y llegamos al 12. Estos son los que vinieron a David en Ziklag, estando él aún encerrado por causa de Saúl, hijo de Cis, y eran de los valientes que le ayudaron en la guerra. Estaban armados de arcos y usaban de ambas manos para tirar piedras con honda y saetas con arco. De los hermanos de Saúl de Benjamín, el principal, Eliezer, después Joás, hijos de Semaa, Gavita, Gesiel y Pelet, hijo de Asmavet, Beraka, Yehu, Anotita, Anatotita, Ismaías, Gabonita y todos estos más. También de los de Gad huyeron y fueron a David. 8. Al lugar fuerte en el desierto, hombres de guerra muy valientes para pelear, diestros con escudo, diestros con escudo y pavés. Sus rostros eran como rostros de leones y eran ligeros como las gacelas sobre las montañas. Eser el primero, Obadayas el segundo, Eliab el tercero, Mismana el cuarto, y muchos más y muchos más. Estos fueron capitanes del ejército de los hijos de Gad. El menor tenía a cargo de 100 hombres y el mayor de 1000. Estos pasaron el Jordán en el mes primero, cuando se había desbordado por todas las riberas, e hicieron huir a todos los de los valles al oriente y al poniente. Asimismo, algunos de los hijos de Benjamín y de Judá vinieron a David al lugar fuerte. 17. Y David salió a ellos y les habló, diciendo: si habéis venido a mí para paz y para ayudarme, mi corazón será unido con vosotros. Mas si es para entregarme a mis enemigos, sin haber iniquidad en mis manos, véalo el Dios de nuestros padres y lo demande. Entonces el Espíritu vino sobre Amasai, jefe de los 30, y dijo: por ti, oh David, y contigo, oh hijo de Isaí, paz contigo y paz con tus ayudadores, pues también tu Dios te ayuda. Y David los recibió y los puso entre los capitanes de la tropa. También se pasaron a David algunos de Manasés cuando vino con los filisteos a la batalla contra Saúl, pero David no les ayudó, porque los jefes de los filisteos habido consejos. habido consejo, lo despidieron, diciendo: con peligro de nuestras cabezas se pasará a su señor Saúl. Así que viniendo él a Siclag, se pasaron a él de los de Manasés, Adnas, Josabad, Ediael, Micael, Eliú, el Siltei, principales de millares de los de Manasés. Estos ayudaron a David contra la banda de merodeadores, pues todos ellos eran hombres valientes y fueron capitanes en el ejército. 22. Porque entonces todos los días venía ayuda a David, hasta hacerse un gran ejército como ejército de Dios. Y este es el número de los principales que estaban estos listos para la guerra. Y vinieron a David en Hebrón para traspasarle el reino de Saúl, conforme a la palabra de Jehová. De los hijos de Judá que traían escudo y lanza, 6,800 listos para la guerra. De los hijos de Simeón, 7,100 hombres, valientes y esforzados para la guerra. De los hijos de Leví, 4,600, asimismo Joiada, príncipe de los del linaje de Aarón, y con él 3,700. Y Sadoc, joven valiente y esforzado, con 22 de los principales de la casa de su padre. De los hijos de Benjamín, hermanos de Saúl, 3,000, porque hasta entonces muchos de ellos se mantenían fieles a la casa de Saúl. De los hijos de Efraín, 20,800, muy valientes varones ilustres en las casas de sus padres. De la media tribu de Manasés, 18,000, los cuales fueron tomados por lista para venir a poner a David por rey. De los hijos de Isaacar, 200 principales entendidos en los tiempos y que sabían lo que Israel debía hacer, cuyo dicho seguían todos sus hermanos. De Zabulón, 50,000 que salían a compañía, prontos para la guerra, con toda clase de armas de guerra, dispuestos a pelear sin doblez de corazón. De Neftalí, 1,000 capitanes y con ellos 37,000 con escudo y lanza. De los de Dan, dispuestos a pelear, 28,600. De Aser, dispuestos para la guerra y preparados para pelear, 40,000. Y del otro lado del Jordán, de los Rubanitas y de Gaditas, de la media tribu de Manasés, 120,000 con toda clase de armas de guerra. Todos estos hombres de guerra dispuestos para guerrear vinieron con un corazón perfecto a Hebrón para poner a David por rey sobre todo Israel. Asimismo, todos los demás de Israel estaban en un mismo ánimo para poner a David por rey. Y estuvieron ahí con David 3 días comiendo y bebiendo, porque sus hermanos habían preparado para ellos. 40. También los que les eran vecinos, hasta Isaacar y Zabulón y Neftalí, trajeron víveres en asnos, camellos, mulos y bueyes, provisión de harina, tortas de higos, pasas, vino y aceite, y bueyes y ovejas en abundancia, porque en Israel había alegría, mucha alegría. Y estamos aquí con ustedes dando gracias. Me pasé por 13 minutos. Bendición. En nombre de Cristo Jesús. Tengamos hambre de su palabra. Es la única que sirve. Life on stage. Awesome. Out. Blessings to YouTube audience. Not YouTube. Catch up soon.